Good to meet you. I'm Gabriel.
Nice to meet you.
So now I kind of talk to you about, before you wound up out, unhoused. What your life was like before things got bad. What was
Before
life
like I ended
like?
up out here,
Yeah.
so I was living in the South Valley with my dad. We used to live on the west side, but my brother Joseph died in the house. He was 13, unfortunately. So we moved because my dad's like he couldn't take the sadness.
When you say your dad is your foster father or your
Oh,
actual
he's my
father?
adopted dad now.
Yeah. And your brother, was he?
Oh no, he was a foster kid. My dad was gonna try to get guardianship of him, but he ended up dying. So what happened was apparently he died in his sleep, and so I wasn't I was I wasn't at the house at the time. I had previously run away, and I was in a mental institution at the time, one of those kids ones, because that's where they always ended up taking me for some reason.
Yeah.
And
Why would you run away?
so so honestly, so one of the biggest problems I had to deal with, well, when I was I had to deal with, because despite most of me and us getting along, it was very easy for people to like not stress me out, but for me to like like always after a while, you start to feel you start to feel when something's wrong with you, because
Yeah.
you realize like because I was playing a game, like I just got on, like I just I just got yelled I just got yelled at. I accidentally forgot to close the fridge, but like I had just opened it, and I was about to go eat me some breakfast. I put the milk back, but I forgot to close it, and my dad came down and was like, "Why did you close the milk? Why didn't you close the fridge?" I was like, "Oops." And then
ADD. I do it all the time.
so it happened. I ended up playing the game, right? And I was just thinking about it. It was just this thing about I was playing, but I started like normally I just focus on the game, but I started just like thinking, and that's when I was thinking like, why am I? Wait a minute, why am I thinking about the stuff that I'm thinking about? I was like, I've never thought about this before, and it was just like mostly like. Like it was, I was like, it was just a small mistake, and eventually I just got off the game and I just went to my room, and I was just like, man, and then I had like started thinking about it, like, is something changing in me? Is like, hold up, I don't understand that. Is like, why am I suddenly like so worried about this when before it never would have concerned me?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized something might be going wrong. And so what happened was, I didn't run away the first time till about 3 months later after that. But I didn't even like fully run away. I ran, and then I ended up coming back like maybe an hour or two later because I didn't know what to do. I realized I didn't know where to go.
Yeah. So, what were you feeling that made you want to leave? Were you
Like I was
were you
feeling
upset with your parents?
I was starting to feel like, how do I describe it? Down, but in a not in like a sad way, like a kind of like a saddish, maddish way, in a way that fused them, but like in a way that was just like
Yeah.
kind of like just like not like angry, but like sad. And so I realized, and I was like, and so the first time I ended up coming back, right? And then so about 3 months after that, I ended up running away again. I ended up in I believe it was Casement. And so I was there for about, I think, 3 months, and then I came back, and then I ended up running away about 4 months after that, and then I was there. I was only there for about a month that time though, and then there was the last one where it was, shoot, I think the end of I believe 2023, towards the beginning of 2024. And so I ended up in yeah. So what happened was I ended up doing that, and so I ended up going from the South Valley all the way like where Los Pedias was, like the far end. I crossed from there. I like got on the bus. Like I got on the bus, and went all the way to the west side, because before that's where I was, and it's like I know the area, so at least I'll be able to know. I ended up I asked the people for help, and the police ended up coming and getting me, and I ended up at UNM CPH, and I was there till a little bit after I turned 17, And then I ended up moving to Texas for an RTC.
Okay. And as far as like school, what time did you go to school?
I got to school so last year I went to San Marcos High School over in San Marcos, Texas.
Okay.
The year before that, it was Mission Achievement and Success Charter School on Yale. Then it was Ziegler High School over on the west side.
Yeah. How'd you do in school?
I'm gonna be honest. Most of my I always did good, but with my ADHD, I was always a little distracted.
Yeah.
I remember, so I signed up for a school class in Ziegler High School called computer graphics. I thought it was gonna be like something gaming, like how to design graphics for games. No, it was quite literally art on a computer. Like you just use the mouse to draw stuff, and I'm like, this is boring. And so I'm over here just playing video games. I also joined engineering too, but I also ended up playing video games with that because I was struggling to use the AutoCAD thingy that they had us using. I was like, I don't understand this. Why can't I make 3D shapes?
Yeah. And work? Did you work when you were a teenager?
No. I haven't had a job just yet.
Okay. Let me ask you, what do you think a moment in your life was when you started to feel things were getting harder for you? Was there a moment? I know.
Honestly, it's honestly probably around 10. So yeah, like I said, what happened was when I was 10, I ended up because what happened was over the course of 2 years, anger started building up because what happened was when I was at that one foster family because that was my favorite foster family in Anton Chico. So they had a daughter in Las Vegas, New Mexico, who my mom happened to be living next door. And my mom wasn't supposed to see me because of the stuff that happened with my grandma and my mom.
Yeah.
So what happened was she saw me, and then eventually I had to get pulled from the house. Like they technically had to pull me because I wasn't willing to go. I didn't want to go. And so what happened is it slowly started building up anger in me until eventually when I turned 10, I ended up having to go through 5 layers deep of emergency respite because they couldn't handle me until I ended up in casement for the first time when I was 10.
Do you still stay in contact with that family?
I haven't had contact, no, but I do, whenever I get like a car and stuff, I do plan on going to visit because that was that was my favorite foster family. Like I have never had a foster family like that.
Yeah.
Not even, I would have rather been adopted by them because I would have never became an outdoor child. I never became an inside child. I was an outdoor child. That was one of the, I was always willing to explore stuff. And then as stuff started happening, eventually I started to discover technology and I started going towards that. And then now I'm just like, there's always some technology and then you realize how much you rely on it once you start to use it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I asked you this, but do you use?
No.
No?
I mean, my brothers, we did smoke weed once.
But you don't do anything out of the...
No.
That's good. Stay away from that stuff.
Everybody tells me that. Even the homeless people around here, South Valley, everybody's told me that. My brothers, everybody tells me don't do drugs. I was like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pit that'll pull you in, man. You gotta keep yourself free as long as you can from that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm gonna kind of ask you a little more about kind of where you're at now. So I know you said you aged out of the foster system.
I got adopted.
You got adopted.
When I was 14 years.
And then how did you wind up out here?
So when I came back from Texas, I was on my dad, my brother, and my dad's husband were all working, and so I was mostly stuck at the house doing all the cleaning. And so if anything went wrong, I would always get yelled at for it because I'm the only one who was doing the cleaning. And It's like, you should have done this. It's like if I missed a small thing, because I always made sure, because I'm stuck at home. I was stuck at home. I didn't have school. It's like the school hasn't started just yet. So I'm over here just waiting, and we're also trying to put me into a school to make sure I can get into school. So about she was 6 weeks ago. So what happened was I ended up messing up something, and it was kind of big, but it wasn't unfixable.
Yeah.
I didn't break anything. It was just I had scrubbed something, but I hadn't done it right. I was honestly very tired that morning, and so what happened was my dad didn't even kick me out over the in person, straight up. He called and just said he called my brother and told him to tell me it's pretty much on speakerphone, you're not welcome here, get out.
over cleaning. Yeah, I can't even get my son to wash dishes. So the fact that you're even cleaning at all is a
I've always been like helpful. I've always like tried to help people, you know.
yeah, definitely. So when that happened, what was your first step? Like, when
Pretty
they told
much
you to leave,
the first thing that happened was my dad's husband said don't go because probably just like messing around, and then almost immediately after my dad called and said are you gone, to make sure I was gone.
yeah,
And so I ended up just packing some stuff up and I left. I don't have everything I had then. I don't have all my clothes. I had to store them somewhere with someone, but I have to go get them.
yeah. You have friends and family out here, and you have nobody that would let you stay with them or that could help
Honestly,
out.
not really, no. I mean, I have dad. My uncle's on the west side, but that's far distance,
Yeah,
and I can't guarantee. I don't because honestly, he's a busy dude. It's not that he can't watch me. It's that sometimes there's no. I'm not gonna. Like, he can't like. Sometimes I'm just not. There's not gonna. Nobody's gonna be there,
yeah,
and yeah.
I get it. Have you tried to get help? Like, have you gone?
Yes, I have. Not too long ago, I did try to get my ID so I can try to get a job. I apparently I didn't. I have to go get my birth certificate still, which we're still working on getting, so that I can get my ID.
Okay. I guess tell me something that you wish people knew about living on the streets and what you deal with that people don't understand.
What people would say?
Or
New?
what they knew about it.
Huh.
And understanding.
Honestly, I wish they understood like just how much, like how hard it is out here and how much they take what they have for granted. Because the first time when I started the second time, I realized I didn't have food, I didn't have water. I mean, I had water. Fortunately, I had a way to get water, but I didn't have food, and like you realize, like you're not always gonna have everything, you know. So don't like. There's a song lyric from a rapper I listen to that the song lyric it's called "Nothing Lasts Forever" by Tokyo's Revenge. The lyric goes, it's the chorus. It goes, "Nothing lasts forever, so don't get attached."
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta understand, you don't always everything you have right now. You're not guaranteed to keep. You gotta cherish everything you have, which is why whenever I always, no matter how hard, like my brother, one thing he taught me is always help out those in need, even if you're in need, because good karma always comes around.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree with that. Let's talk about kind of your day-to-day life, man. What does your average day look like?
So Sundays is a little different, but since every day the library is open, I go there. I'm usually either researching something like that we need. Like I'm researching, I'm looking up like how to get here, how to get there, how to get this, how to get that, what we might need, what it might cost, everything that might be necessary, you know. And other times I'm just like chilling, playing games on the computer. And that's from about 10 to like 5:45. Morning we get up, we normally go get a coffee from the South Silver Street Market, and then we either head to the library or we walk around until it opens, and then we head there. We don't walk around. How do I phrase this? We go and like ask people like to get if like we can get people to help us get the food and stuff, so we can have something to eat, you know.
Yeah.
And like sometimes not sometimes, we do a lot of the time, most of the time at least anyways, we go and to this church right here, and we go get sandwiches. And on Sunday they have this thing where it's like open longer, but it's also much more, and you can like give out clothes and like warm food and stuff. Most of the day it's just a PB&J sandwich. And yeah, we go there. We also go to that on today we're gonna be going at 11:30 because it's open today. But normally we go at around 1:30 to the Good Shepherd on 9 and 3rd, and so we go there to eat because then it's like they give out food. I think they're like a rehab I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, but they help the homeless from like 1 to like 1. They serve, and pretty much you can just go up and get as much food as you want. And so like we do, so that we have plenty. We've eaten enough, so we make sure we eat enough, so that way we don't have to constantly be looking for food. So that way we know we've eaten, so we don't have to. And then pretty much around like 10, we set up, and then we pretty much just go to sleep.
Tell me, what's something that you think nobody would ever guess about you? Like a personal thing.
Honesty. most people, basically, because most of the way I act, I tend to act like hyperactive, act childish. I'm actually, so because it happens a lot, like I will randomly say something like really deep and meaningful, and everybody just stare at me, and it's like, because most people don't realize that, like people like me have that level of wisdom.
Yeah.
I've always I watch like those shower thoughts videos. I watch like a bunch of stuff like that, and then you learn something new, and that's where that's how I learned the. My brother taught me that message. Don't take always take stuff. Never take anything for granted. Always cherish everything you have. And he's the one who showed me that song. He told me that when he showed me it.
Yeah. Well, we're running low on time, but let me ask you a couple more questions. Can you tell me a moment of kindness that you remember that stands out to you, just out in your daily life?
Yes, actually, not too long ago. So we asked a person for $1, right? And so what happened was they ended up going and buying us food instead, and that was honestly. But it's like every time something like that happens, that's why I was always like, no matter how messed up society may be, there's always people who are trying to better it, no matter how many people aren't. And it's people like that that give me that at least let me know that there's always going to be some hope in this world.
Yeah, no, there's still good people out there.
That gives me like a lot of hope in this world, you know.
So, except we're gonna have to wrap up pretty quick, but a couple of things I want to talk to you. If you could talk directly to the city of Albuquerque, like as a whole, what would you tell people who think they know your story? That make assumptions about you. What would you want to tell them?
I can say that from the top of my head. What you need to understand is not everybody, just because some people might be in the exact same situation, but that doesn't even mean that they're even close to being like. One could have been a very wealthy dude, and unfortunately got like a bunch of stuff happened to him, and now he's unfortunate. And another could be someone who's just like a drug addict and something, and chooses to rather do that instead. It's like no, not everybody is the same. No one ever has been. No one ever will be. Some people might be similar. That's why I say great minds think alike, but they don't say great minds are alike, because no one in this world is exactly like me. Like most people, you gotta understand. These people don't understand is not the misunderstanding of people will always lead to problems in the future. That's why That's why whenever stuff like happens on the news and you see it, like something happen, it's always something's gonna start. Like the riots that happened when COVID happened, everything. Once something starts happening, everything starts to go down, and that's the problem. People don't realize that just with how different people are, they don't realize just how serious some of these situations can get until they do. Like I remember, I actually got COVID during that time, and I'm honestly just happy that I'm still alive. Because I could have been one of billions that died. That's in that entire period. That could have been me, but I was lucky enough to survive.
Yeah.
I remember it was painful. Like I was just hunched over. Like every part of my body ached. We still make me and my family. We still make fun of it every time, because like I was just like everything hurt.
Yeah.
Like it hurt to walk. It hurt to to talk. I was constantly coughing, and it was always like hard coughs. Like you can hear the sound. Like it sounded like my throat was like hurt, like dying on me. And yeah.
COVID was rough, man. I mean, a lot of people had a hard time with that. What would you want to say to someone who thinks that you're not trying? There's a lot of people saying that homeless people just don't try, that they're.
So, some people don't try, some people don't, but I've always put as much effort as I can into everything that I do, because it's always because the harder you work, the more you can get. Like I said, I'm not just like. He said something like, you're always just playing the games. I'm like, no, I've looked stuff up, and how do you think we've gotten some stuff that we got? Because I went in there and looked it up.
Okay, so we only have 5 minutes left. I want to kind of just ask you a couple questions before we finish up. What would it take to help you get on your feet? What do you think?
Honestly, I just need to get a job, because then I'll start working myself towards an apartment and everything.
And what do you want for your life?
Honestly, I truly just want to, like, I don't want to say be happy. I want to I want to survive in a world that understands just how hard things can be, and is willing to help those in need. That's what I would love for my life, you know? Because then it wouldn't just help me, that'd help everybody.
What would you want people to remember about you?
Honestly, probably the fact that I just want to make an impact in this world, maybe find some way to bring like kindness to everybody, you know?
If you could talk to your childhood self, what would you say?
Oh, there's so much things I would say.
The main thing.
Honestly, don't get adopted. That's probably been the biggest thing, honestly. I feel like honestly, some of the stuff I feel like happened because of the adoption. And like, honestly, I was thinking about it before, like, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get adopted. Because I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap up, but if anybody wants to help out or do anything, how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'll give you my email.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a phone at the current moment, but I can give you my email, yeah.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll share that. And wish you luck out there, man.
Thank you.
It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.